A laugh track. Hey, I've got the laugh track. So, I'm going to be doing an 18 by 24 inch canvas. It's nice and dry right now. There's nothing on the canvas as we speak. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of my Bob Ross liquid white, looks just like this, shake it up into the jar, take off the lid, and then dab into the lid. We should just have just enough if we can dab into that lid and cover over our entire canvas. We want to stretch it. Really stretch it. I understand this part might be, hard to see, putting white on white. I agree. You might already know how to do it, but I do get a lot of comments of people ask me how to prep the canvas, how to show every single step, and that's why you guys like to follow me. So, while we're loading up this canvas full of our liquid white, we're going to come in here, and you guys are going to tell me where you're watching from and what's your favorite Christmas movie. What's that one movie you've watched like 10 times already this Christmas, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to probably watch it 10 more times before Christmas is over, right? What is that one movie? Let me know in the comments, because I love knowing what you guys are watching. For me, it's probably A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, the Disney one. I love that movie. I can't get over it. I just love it. I love the message. I love the imagery, everything about that movie. So, if you've never seen it, it's the Disney's A Christmas Carol, and it's got Jim Carrey, and he plays like nearly every single part. Plays all of the ghosts, plays Ebenezer, plays everything. So, if you like a good Scrooge tale, go check out Disney's A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. It's fantastic. That's the one I'll be watching most. And of course, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You can't get away from How the Grinch Stole Christmas during the Christmas season. I'll probably watch that about 15 times at least, right? Now, I'm just taking a little bit of that white paint, covering the edge of my canvases, and that way it's going to make it easier for me to blend the sides and have everything wrap around. Now, this is an 18 by 24 inch, but it's a Pro Series canvas. So you get those really thick edges, those real expensive canvases, you know what I mean? They're the best. Oh, I wish I could paint on them every single time. But we do have to charge a little bit more for these canvases because they're a little bigger, right? They're a little more expensive for me to buy, and they add to the shipping dimensions and all that stuff. But once we get our liquid white attached and across our whole canvas, we'll be ready to go through and really paint a pretty little scene. Okay, now here's a nice little easy way to check and see if you have enough, right? We're blindly, I'm not even going to look. We're going to touch, 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 and then right in the middle, pop, and see, we've got just about the same amount of paint on every fingertip, and that's what you got to have, just a little bit. You want to be able to see the dimples in in your canvas, right, in your glove or your fingerprint in the paint. If it's too globby, it's not gonna work. Just not gonna work for us. So, I figured we'd paint a cold little Christmassy scene. Christmas is coming, as you all know. So we're going to be using mainly blue, crimson, black, and white. And then we're also going to go with the crimson from the Meeden set, probably a little of the black from the Meeden set, and a few of our colors, maybe red, yellow, blue, something like that, for our Christmas lights. So throw a little cabin in this one. It should be really fun. Now, if you're watching on Facebook or TikTok, you'll be able to see the Meeden set. We're promoting this Meeden set. They're available for $65 if you go to meedenarts.com or meedenart.com and then use the promo code JOSH10 if you want to be entered to win one of these sets. You got to go to meedenart.com and then use promo code JOSH10 in order to enter their giveaway. They're giving away 3 of those sets, 5 oil paint kits, and then 10 gift cards, guys. So there's going to be 18 Paint with Josh winners, and they're going to announce the winners on the 17th. My watch is all dead. So we might as well take it off. They're going to announce the winners actually on the 18th, I believe. So if you get over there for Christmas, get something, use promo code JOSH10, and then you'll be entered to win one of these sets. Now, let's get one of our brushes. We'll take the Bob Ross brush over here. Now, you can already see we've attached the liquid white to the canvas. So let's go through, maybe add a little bit of our Meeden Crimson. Meeden Crimson is very wet. It's almost like acrylic wet, right? And come up here, start to drop it down. Now, you don't need a lot of it because it's going to go a long way, right? A little bit of it goes a very long way. put some of it down here even. Why not? Maybe have some pinky bits in our snow, right? The more we blend it out, the more we push it and stretch it out that way, the more it's going to end up being lighter and lighter and lighter. And then we're also going to come in with a bit of our Prussian blue. Now, once we start coming back over this pink, it's going to start to change, right? The more that we mix it, the more it's going to start to change into a little purpley color. Right? Back and forth and back and forth, and you can literally blend it to whatever likeness that you want to have it, right? However you want your sky to look. You can even go into that purple dioxazide by Gamblin, right? They make this really pretty purple paint. Ooh, look at that purple on this white. Woo, that's fantastic. Holy moly. All right, so we get a little bit of purple, a little bit of pink, a little bit of blue in our sky. Really cool. All right, you can find that purple dioxazide paint. I went to Michael's and found mine. It was in the oil paint section, and it's a really cool little color if you ask me. A little of our Mead Crimson, a little of Bob Ross Crimson, because it's a little thicker. All right, save some of that stuff, pop it down here. Why not? Why not? Just put this stuff anywhere. Doesn't matter. As long as we have a little bit of colorage across our canvas, we'll have a very pretty, soft little pink little scene. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. All right, just like this. I mean, we don't even need to cover the whole canvas, but we will in this case. Now we're going to go around the edges as well. So let's go back. Let's get some of that blue. Cover it up, match up our sides, back into our crimson for our little pinky section along the edge, and then whatever we end up covering, at least there'll be some sort of color on the canvas and around the side. All right, I never like to leave the sides just perfectly dry, because then it looks like you gave up. You're like, oh, you know what, fine, we did the front, but who cares about the sides? No one's going to look at that, right? No, people are going to look. They're going to notice that you took the time to do the sides, right? Especially on these big, thick canvases. You got to do the edges, otherwise it just really looks unfinished if you don't. Right? If you're not doing those sides, it just looks undone, and that's not what we want. Let's take a little bit of that blue. Might as well just add it in down here, just covering over. Then we'll go through and we'll blend our whole canvas out, right? And wherever we have these colors, maybe we'll take a little bit of that purple. Some of that purple down in here. Why not? Why not? Seriously. Like, you can literally put the color anywhere you want, because we're going to take it and stretch it and move it and blend it, do all these cool little things with it. All right, so all we got to do, have some of our color in there. That's really it. Really, right? Now, we can't do much more blending with this brush because it's all covered full of that paint, right? So the more that we continue to touch, the more it's going to dump off the paint that's already on the brush. We can't have that. We want a nice, clean brush that we can spread that paint out with. Once we spread it all the way out, it's nice and blended, we'll go add some clouds. Really pretty. Just really pretty. Really pretty, guys. All right, now, let's do a little something over here. We got a lot of fun, okay? Take one of our other brushes. That way we can let that one guy dry off for a little bit. Same brush. This one's just nice and dry. We haven't used it yet today. Let's come into our lightest area, up into that little white section, maybe down into our pinky area over here. We're just going to start crisscrossing back and forth. And as we crisscross, we're starting to blend those colors together. Each time we're crisscrossing over and taking it in each direction, it's kind of intermixing all the colors together, back and forth, right? I don't really want to go out into my dark colors until I'm completely done in my light area. So you go across it, and once we come out here into our blue, based off of our pressure, right? Our pressure is going to decide how far that blue comes down, how much of our pink gets covered up. And if it's not dark enough, why don't we grab a bit of our black? Not the Mead black, the Bob Ross black, because the Bob Ross black doesn't really stay black. It goes and it starts to blend away very quickly, right? Versus the Mead black, which stays black on your canvas. So if you want a really black sky, go with that Mead black. But in this case, we're using the Bob Ross black. All onto the same brush, just like that. We're going to start to blend it out everywhere. As we crisscross and we dump off this color off of the brush, it'll start to blend. We take this guy and we come up here and we start working him down. Working it down just with a little bit of pressure. Don't want everything to go crazy. Doesn't need to grow across the whole canvas. Right? Just down there like that. Soft. Make it soft. That's all we got to do. Right? Now, even if you come across your your pink area it's not going to hurt it too much because we've already blended out all this thick paint up here. There's no more big, thick areas that are stretching or dragging little things across, little streaks, anything like that, right? So once we've got it all nice and blended out, and you've decided maybe, I don't know, maybe we want it a bit darker up in those corners. Let me show you the difference. You get a little touch of that medium black. Holy cow, and I'm talking about the littlest bit. Little bit, because it will stay black up in the corners of your canvas, right? The more that you mix it down, the more it'll dull everything down. So if you want a darker, more stormier corner of your canvas, more that medium black, then you'll work it in. Blend it down, blend it down, blend it down. You get that little bit of a darker look without having to add too much paint onto the canvas. And that's the most important part. The less paint that we put onto the canvas, the easier it's going to be to keep everything and continue to add layers, right? If we keep adding and adding and adding and adding paint, eventually there'll be so much paint on the canvas that we won't be able to do our job. We won't be able to lay any extra paint on the top of it because it's already so thick and full of paint. Have you ever gone across your sky and then all of a sudden you can see every single brush or bristle mark throughout your whole sky? You've got too much paint on there. That's why. If I go like this, I should not be able to see my brush or any bristle of my brush drag across my sky because there's a very little amount of paint on there. And we've chosen our colors correctly versus adding too much, right? You add on too much, it's going to be harder to add and continually add and add and add and add. Now, I do want to end up just matching this on the side. Just go a little bit darker on the sides. There we go. One more little piece off of this edge. And we'll be all set. Now, let's go wash off our blendy brush. And we'll get into there with some clouds, okay? Get a couple clouds up in that sky, Joshy. It looks really nice. Oh, thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. Oh, you're welcome, Josh. You are so welcome, my buddy. All right. This one's looking good, guys. So tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite Christmas movie? And make sure if you're watching over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, tap that screen, the little emojis at the bottom. And of course, if you're watching on TikTok, just tap, 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 tap that whole screen. The more little taps we get on the screen, the more people will join because the algorithm thinks that we're doing cooler stuff than we are, and it will bring more people to the party. All right, so tap, tap, tap on the screen. Make sure you give me a thumbs up over on YouTube. Comment your butts off over on Facebook. Let's do this. Let's come over here, grab a little fan brush. Oh, guys, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? How are we gonna do anything? What's missing? What's missing right over here? We might not even be able to paint tonight, guys, honestly. How are we gonna paint without this color? What's missing on Josh's palette that usually sits right here? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what we're missing and how are we supposed to do clouds if we're missing this color? That's my question. How are we gonna do cloudsies if we're missing the old color? Let's see. Anybody know? Anybody in the comments know? Gray? Ah, white. Good job, guys. White. We need the white. If we're gonna do anything. We're gonna have a snowy, wintry, like how are we gonna do a Christmassy, wintry scene without any snow, right? That's not gonna work out very well. Okay, now come back in, come over here, grab up that fan brush like we said before, and let's rock and roll. Okay, grab this guy, just like that. You see where I put my cap down? Get rid of that a little bit. And come over here like this, grab some white onto our fan brush, right? Pulling it down, staying away from our little black pile over there. Coming down like this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? A little bit of white. Well, a fair amount of white onto the brush. It's a good amount. Look at that. It's foul. Boop. Just like that. We'll come up here and come around the side. Who knows? Maybe pop down, save some of that pink, pop up, rotate the brush, spin it, smash it up there. Get all that color to deposit. Maybe we need a little bit more. Let's come in here like this. Scoop up a bit more onto the brush. Maybe we had some down there. Over here. Just kerploosh! Wherever you want to go. Honestly, they're clouds. They can do anything. They can be anything. They can look any way. Just like that. Right? Obviously, we're not going to leave it just like that and walk ahead. You guys are looking at this going, oh my God, what am I watching with this guy? Right? We'll come up here like this and we'll start to take our brush and mix it down. Just with the corner of the brush, right? Not the full brush, just the top corner as we start to pull it and mix it and judge what we want it to look like just based off of our pressure. Sometimes we barely even nick just a little baby spot and move on. You don't have to touch every piece. You don't have to mix everything as much or as forcefully as every other little piece. All right, we'll come down in here, start to take that color, move it around, pull it up, pull it down, push it over here, mix it, mix it, mix it. It's constantly mixing with the pink, with the gray, with everything else that's under our canvas, right? The more you push, the more it will blend. The less you push, the brighter it will be. The more paint you have on one side versus the other side. It's all about the 3 P's of Paint with Josh. We barely talk about them anymore. You guys got to remind me. If you know what the 3 P's of Paint with Josh are, let me know in the comments. And if you don't like a part of your cloud, watch this. We'll just literally blend it away until it is no more. Cha-choom! Just like that, right? However we want our little sky to look is exactly how it's going to look until we stop blending. And then we know that our clouds are sitting about right there. And everything is so blended out that we don't even need to do this part. We've already twisted them up and rotated them all over the place. So just with a very light pressure, barely even hanging on to the brush, right? Makes it look all wobbly. You know what I mean? Go like this. See that, Bill? Barely any pressure on the brush is all I mean when we're doing that section, right? Poof! That is really cool. Little section of clouds out there already. Now, just for the shape that I like to do my mountains, I'm going to add a little bit of cloudage right down in here. You can see we've mixed it from its brightest area down into this kind of dull gray spot. So if we pop in a new little section of light, as we come up like this, right, over in that section, who knows? We'll take it, smush it over this way too. Why not? Pow! Pow! How you like me now? Just whatever, right? Now, with a little bit extra paint, it looks a little brighter. Come up here, we start to mix it down very lightly. And if it doesn't mix down very lightly, right, everyone's very lightly is a little bit different, right? You might be pushing on a little harder thinking that you're doing it light versus someone else who might have a lighter touch, right? What I liken it to is, first we're using our eyeballs to see what it looks like, right? So the more, you can't just do the whole thing across and expect it all to be beautiful. It's just going like this, just blindly, okay, that's cool, right? No, you got to look at it. And go, okay, let's mix it up a little bit more. Let's push it over a little bit over this way or a little bit over that way. Just keep going back and forth. Little circles, little circles, little circles until it's as soft as you want it to be. And now we've got this little bit of depth back there. The clouds here are closer. They're a bit brighter. Those guys are a little bit further away, a little softer, a little further in the distance, right? Come in here like this. Swipe up, swipe over. Baboosh! Get our whole little crown-looking clouds up there. Looks very neat. Now, let's clean off one of our brushes. Get a nice clean brush that we can work with, right? And we're going to mix up some 3 colors that I like to use in order to make a deep, dark, purpley color. Now, since we're only using limited colors for the majority of the painting until we get to the Christmas lights bit, there's only 4 colors that we're using, so you should be able to tell me the 3 out of the 4 that I need to mix up in order to make a giant, dark mix of super dark purple. Who knows? Who knows the color? Let's mix them up. As we come over here, right? I'm going to grab from this pile, from that pile, and from that pile. So you can grab a little bit of the purple too. Why not? Get a little purpley. So, what 3 colors, plus the little purple bit that I grabbed, right in there, are we going to mix up in order to create this deep darkness? The deep, dark mixture coming to every theater this Halloween. What are those 3 colors, guys? Miss Fran Fine knows. Claire Dollison knows. I think that was Clint, Deb, Jeremy. They all know. Emma over here knows. Tia knows. Lynn, what's that? Fleeth? Lynn knows. Glitterwix knows. Jennifer Kane knows. Everybody knows, right? Blue, black, and crimson. Those are the colors. They're always right here. Blue, Black, crimson, always in the same spot on my palette every single show. And that way, if I go back up to them without mentioning it, you'll know what colors they are. Now let's come up here and we'll grab this guy. Just like that, a little bit of darkness onto our knife, and who knows, just pop up into the sky. Paboosh! And we're gonna get really tall on this guy. We're gonna really climb up, right? How tall do you want your little mountain section to be as we come in here and just kind of bounce? Pull it over to the side, maybe we come up a little further. You don't all have to be little pyramidal shapes. You can be a little flatter in some areas. You can do whatever you want to do. That looks very jagged. Like a little toothy mountain. Whoo! I like him already. Okay, let's come over here. Let's drag down a lot more of this color, right? We can scrape it up from certain areas, add it to other areas, extending the mountain already. We're not just going to use the knife to make it. We're going to have this knife dump some of our color randomly across the canvas, right? Just like this. However we want our mountain to be, that's how it's going to be. But we don't have to add all the paint with just our palette knife, right? Just smush some stuff up there. And then let's go see what it looks like. Let's grab a 1-inch brush. Bam! Just like that, right? From our 1-inch brush, this is a Bob Ross 1-inch landscape brush. It's just like this. I use the paint with brand brushes as well. Come down here, grab that guy, and just based off of our pressure, how far can we slide that mountain out? It comes down this way. Right? Continues to roll down the hill. Just based on where we're grabbing, we're not really sliding anything else out, right? Maybe we grab a little bit more of that color. Pull it down that way. So build our little mountain section, right? How's yours look? That's how mine looks right there. Let's take the other side of this guy and we'll pull him off in the other way. Because it doesn't have to be the same way all the time. I like having a little multiple directional mountain, right? Say this guy right here, he actually dropped straight down and then hit that same side. And that guy came in front of him like that. All these little things you can do just by pulling down. And we come straight down back here. We hit a spot, boom, we went the other way. We take all this stuff, and it'll be a whole other piece of that ridge that's already connected. So let's grab a bit of that darkness, connect onto that ridge, right? Pull it down that way. Very cool. This mountain's taking over my whole scene. Can't let it go so big. All right, let's come down here. Pull straight down on the right-hand half of the mountain. Hit, go to the side. Boom! Come down this way. How far do you want your little guy to slide down? That's the question that's up to you. Not me, madam. Totally up to you, right? Very cool. Take this guy. What if we take him and just slide him off? Now, based off our pressure, I can either drag all that dark color over here or I can let it fade away as it gets towards the side. Right? Up to us what we want, but I never like the mountain to go all the way to the edge of the canvas. That just seems kind of foolish. We don't want to go all the way over here because we're going to have to add more paint onto that guy, right? Now, we'll have our little bit come up this way. Got our shear wall. Got a little piece over here. Let's add a little touch back inside here. Just a little ridge going off this side. Doesn't need to be humongous because I don't want to lose all this pink down here. It's gorgeous. Someone said I sounded like Goofy when I did that. Like he's falling down a well. Like falling down the well. Apparently that's what I sound like when I get really excited. Just like that. Oh, guys. Oh, it's insane. Look at this mountain, right? But I don't like how super peaky it is up here. So let's take it and adjust it a little bit flatter just by pulling it, right? We can decide what we want it to look like. It doesn't tell me what it looks like. I tell it. Come up here. A little bit more to the edge. All right? I have another little drop right there, right where I want it. Boop, boop. A little bit, little thing. One more little peeker. Why not? Just like that. Right? Make them all scraggly on the top. Again, these guys need to come down, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to take this other guy, streak him off to the side. Off to the side, off to the side. Now, this isn't the final shape of the mountain. It's just what it's going to look like until we go to highlight the guy, right? Not adding too much paint down around the bottom. Got this really pink area down here. Some pink up in our sky. Oh, it's going to be... You have to like fall down as you do it. Okay, let's mix up a little bit of color. All right, we're going to leave a little bit of our white and a little teeny bit of that blue. And let's mix that guy up down here. Come over on the side, we'll mix up this little blue and white pile. Now, it's going to be a very sky blue color, even though we use the Prussian blue, which is the darker of the blue colors, right? Because I'm out of the phthalo blue. If you guys can go hit my Amazon wish list, send me some more phthalo blue. That'd be fantastic. And maybe I can get back to some phthalo bluey scenes. So, over here, we're going to mix up a little bit of that blue, and then we're going to come in and grab a little touch of our darkness, right? Just about most of it. Bring it down and dull that color down to like a bluish gray versus a bright sky blue. Now it's kind of a far off, stormy grayish blue color. Okay? Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. Love you guys. Let's come up here like that, grab some of that blue off of our knife, and come up along the side, just straight down in those real sharp little cliffy areas back here. All right? Straight down. Doesn't even have to go all the way down. The snow might not have anywhere to sit on this sheer vertical cliff back here. Very cool. Just a couple little bits, we can start to highlight what we want to be seen as our sheer cliffs. Okay, now off the back of this guy, we're going to need to put a little bit of that snow, dump it off of our knife, just starting to build its little pattern out there, right up to the top, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. Turn the knife if you have to. All right, scrape up a little bit more of our paint. Over there, 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 right? All depends on what you want it to look like. Being very flat to the canvas. So our knife is almost touching the handle. It gets a lot of color on it because it almost touches the canvas every single time. All right, say we came down here, we had a little bit of that shadowy mix coming down off of this guy. The snow came and hit and slid down. Little bit, little bit, little bit. Don't want to have too much because we're going to come over here with a whole other section of white. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Just fantastic. Now, what if there was one more little guy right there? Boom. It's totally going to make sense when I show you guys in a second, okay? Now, let's come up here, grab about double the amount of white that we just grabbed, and just a little sneak of that little tiny blue pile that we made. Right? We don't want to go super blue on this one. We don't want it to be the same. We want it to be very bright, but we want it to be off-white. Right? We don't need it to be pure white. So in this instance, we've mixed just a little bit of that blue in there. And that way it won't be the purest, whitest of whites that we can possibly get onto our canvas. Now we'll come up here, scrape a little bit of that guy, and say we came off of this guy back here. Start dropping in little pieces, little bits. Coming down our little hill. How do we want our little mountain to look? Right? As we slide down, the paint picks up in little different areas. Right? It's not us that it's telling that are deciding where the paint goes. It's the paint telling you where it wants to be. If it doesn't collect in a certain area, then it's not supposed to be there. Right? Don't try to force it down into that spot. Let's come over here. Let's grab a little touch of that white. Come down off this little sheer ledge right there. Get a little piece of shadowing off the top. One little touch of white going the other way. Just like that. Like little bits. Little details. All you need. Now, we're probably going to need to mix up some more white snow. But let's come up here. Whip this guy down right along the edge. Just let it come off your knife however you want it to happen. Right? However it's coming down in your mind. Angles, angles, angles. Always more to the side than down. You don't want to go at like a 45-degree angle. It ends up looking really funny. Let's come up here like this. Shaking it. Pulling it off to the side, and now we've got this wicked sheer, like, edge right over the top. Right? Take this guy, light him up over the edge down here. Starting to pull our little snowy bits everywhere. They don't have to touch. They don't have to fill in every spot. You don't have to do anything. You want to have those little breaky bits. Those are my favorite parts of the whole painting. The whole thing are those little breaky parts, right? Come up here. My achy breaky parts. Those are my favorite part. The whole painting. My achy breaky parts. Come up here like this into that blue again, pulling down the other direction. Picking up some of that pink even from our little snowy highlights down here. Look at that, you guys. Right? Never like it to be such a perfect line up on the top, so let's jiggle it up a bit, just so it's not a straight thing. All these crazy things happening down here. Crazy action news over on this mountain. Right? Pulling these guys down a little bit further, make up a little bit more of our snowy color down here. Just a little touch. I never mix up enough. No matter how much I grab, it never seems to be enough. Let's pull it down this way. And the only reason that we want a little light color down here is so that we can make our misty fog out of it, right? How to make that foggy mist. The fogginess. That's one of my biggest questions all the time I get. How do you do the misty, foggy part? I go, well, you got to kind of watch the show, and I'll show you every single step. I like to show you. Right, so come down in there. Let's add just a little bit more of the white around the side. Again, just for the fog to react with it. We don't need it to be a highlight, right? Because this is on our shadowy side. But we do need a bit of white paint in order to make our foggy mist. So you can even scrape up if you got a little bit too much. Dump it on just by changing the angle of the knife, right? Scrape, deposit. Scrape, deposit. That's how you do it. Right, now let's take a big old 2-inch brush over here. Look at this, like we took ripped a whole chunk out of this mountain. I want to see what's like back here. Is there a cave that goes down inside back there? It's really cool. Okay, let's take our brush like this, very lightly, coming across it. I leave that white paint there to show you just how softly you have to touch. Right, just so soft that we don't move the paint, but we get rid of some of the little details. That's all, a couple little bits. All right, come over here like this. Now let's imagine we had our knife attached to the handle of our brush. We used them either which way, right? So if we came down this way with our knife, we're going to have to go that way with our brush, right? If we came down straight with the knife, we've got to go straight up with the brush. Very lightly though. Very light. We're not trying to drag the paint. We're not trying to do anything but soften it just a little bit, right? So again, came down this way, came down that way. On this little bit of white, we went up that way, went down, came up this little hill just so lightly that I'm barely touching the brush. And I'm trying to hold another tool as well, just so lightly, right? You don't have to do it hard. Come over here, very light touches, very light grazing of the paint. If you can make it almost to the tip top, you're pretty good right there. Right? You don't have to go all the way to the top. Just kind of graze it up there in the opposite way that we pulled it down. So we came down, go up, right? Came down, you go up. Came down this way, so we go up this way. Same thing, not trying to drag the colors or anything like that. Just trying to soften the look of that paint just a little teeniest bit. Little soft. That's all you got to do. Right now, let's drop that knife, grab up the 2-inch brush, and then start tapping out like a typewriter. Right? Go, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Ding! Then we start down underneath. Ding! Right over here, tapping it just with the corner of the brush. Pulling it outwards, making more mountain, just like a typewriter. Underneath, just slightly under, slightly under, slightly under. Maybe we'll come up a little bit more on this guy. Tapping, 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 right? What do you want to see? What do you want to be hidden in the fog? Totally up to you guys. Right now, if we've been going this way across our whole mountain, right? Get bristle out of there. I'm tapping this way and this way and this way, just like a clock. Now we're down to about 6 o'clock, right? From 3 o'clock down to 6 o'clock over here. Are we going to continue to go this way against the grain of the mountain, or should we rotate our brush and start doing our little typewriters this way with the grain of the mountain? You guys got to let me know. Up to you, and I'll do whatever you say. Unless it's the wrong answer. Get a quick drink right here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Give you some shout outs. Let's see. Yeah, future painting tool, all-in-one tool, right? That'd be cool. We need to rotate. We need to go from 6 to 9. That's good, right? We went 3 to 6. Now we need to go 6 to 9. Hey, the Custom King. What's happening? Remember, guys, this one is available for sale. If you go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com, you can grab this one up. It's number 1040. 1040. Now, say we're coming in here again, just little bits, right? Tap into that snow, drag it out. Come back, tap into it right above, drag it out. Over here, drag it out, right? The more snow you grab, the more mist you're going to drag down. Right? Keep going just like a typewriter, though. Don't try to go all over the place. Doing it randomly is not going to work. Type it out. Type it out. It's like reverse. It's like Da Vinci writing. Or mirror writing with a typewriter. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right? Sometimes we come up a little bit over here. Or a little bit up into there. Right? Wherever you want it to be different. It doesn't all have to show exactly the same. Maybe this guy right here where I want to put my cabin, maybe I need a little bit less snowy paint, right? So we get a little bit more mistiness. We still know that it's there. We know the mountain lives right there, right? We just can't see it because it's so far back. So let's take these guys, swipe it up from the side, all the way around like a clock. So down here we're about 6 o'clock, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then we're done. Boom. 9 to 3, 3 to 9. That's all you got to do. Definitely don't go up on top. Oh, man. Stay away from 9 to 3. Just go 3 to 9. Okay? Don't go 9 to 3. That'll be bad. All right, guys, this one is really turning out to be one of my absolute favorites. I hope none of you guys purchases this one so I can keep it and look at it for a while. Jeez. All right, let's mix up a bit more of that dark color since we burned through the stuff that we already had. All right, let's go through here, scrape up all this paint, get rid of all this excess stuff that we're not going to use. Make a nice little clean area. You guys know me, I wear gloves. I'm a super clean freak. My house is clean for the most part. Don't judge me. My house is clean. I like a clean palette and clean hands. Okay? So, give me a second. We're going to clean off the palette for you. It's easier for you guys to see as well if you got a nice clean palette to view, I would imagine. There we go. Now, all set, ready. Look, you can see the painting right through the sucker. Okay? I think baby must be home. Must be home. Okay. Let's see, what are we going to do from here, you guys? We got to mix up that dark color again. So, who knows what that deep dark color is? And if you don't know, that's okay. You might be a brand new fan. You might not know, which is perfectly fine. Maybe somebody in the comments will help you out. These three colors, equal parts of each. We come down in here and we start to mix it up all gross and nasty. Just like that. Come through here. You can even see the blue, the black, and the crimson stain on the palette, right? Just like that. All three of those deep, dark colors. The BBC, or the CBB, whatever you want to say. The BBC, the CBBCBC, BBCBC, ABC, ABACABA, ABAC, ABABCD. That's how you're supposed to take those Scantron tests, right? Did anyone ever actually really do that with those Scantron tests? Be like A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C, ABACAB all the way down? Would you ever do that? Just like turn your test in after 2 minutes, be like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't think I ever did it. I think I got lazy at some point and would do a couple little bits, but you know, then you'd like snap back into reality like Eminem. Like, whoa, I gotta take this test seriously. Come over here, we're gonna take our brush right down through that dark paint. Right through the BBC with David Attenborough. I'm going to come over here like that, and let's decide where we have a bit of forest. Maybe we have some forest, and it starts popping down this way. All right, come down here, come down, pop up, come down, pop up. Different heights, different amounts, different levels, right? All dark. Dark, 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 right? Separating the mountain from us, right? Come over here. A little bit more of our paint, coming back down, tapping it in, coming over here, going up, going down, over here, over there, right? Staying into those light-colored areas, because if you try to come up here into your thick snow and do all that mushing, boy, it's not going to go well. It just really doesn't go well. So, we come down, start tapping it in. Pop, 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 pop. We don't have too much paint, especially in the area where we want to have our cabin, right? And then we can go blend it all out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, Joshy. We come over here like this and start finishing our edges of our forest, and we can climb up a little higher now. All right, we're over here in the misty bit where we had all that excess snow in our misty section up here. And that way we can go a little higher, we can cover a little more area. But again, covering it down to the base. You gotta cover it down to the bottom. If you don't, you're going to let too much light kind of shine through the base there. All right, now let's take our 2-inch brush again. Come in like that. This is the Paint with Graham 2-inch brush. If you guys have yours, are you able to read your handle anymore? Because mine gets so dirty from my hands, and I can't read my handle anymore. Okay, now we're going to take in here, we're going to slide up from the base, right? A little bit of pressure. Same thing that we did with our mountains. Except with our mountains, we did it like a clock, all the way around, right? In this instance, do we want to do it like a clock, or do we want to do it straight up and down? Can you guys let me know in the comments? This is number 1040. 1040. So if you go over to my Etsy store, it's the only one that's brand new. Every other brand new one is gone. It's already been sold. Right? It's in the featured section. It'll just have a picture of my face on it because we haven't finished the painting and been able to take a thumbnail for it, right? So it'll be the only one that doesn't have a like a thumbnail photo. It'll just be a picture of me if you did want to purchase it. And remember, if you do, you get to choose the name, and you get a free giveaway on the Spinny Winnie wheel, which is just over off screen. Hey, now what are you guys saying? Do we go like a clock or should we just go up and down? That's right. Bev Weatherall. Exactly. Thank you guys for all the follows. I love you. All right, we'll come in here like this. Same brush. Haven't done anything before we drop it onto ourselves, right? Same brush. We're going to come in just like another little vertical typewriter. Instead of going out in an angle, this one we're just going to come down. Just pop up next to him, come down. Come next to him, come down. Couple taps. Couple taps, in and out, in and out, in and out. You do it without even looking. Look, not even looking. You know, I think the canvas is over here. I'm not sure. Pretty sure that it's over there. And like again, I'm not even looking at it. I'm trying to look at you guys, right? Except I'm not looking at you guys. I'm looking at my TV. I'm cheating. Ha 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 ha. Of course I wouldn't do it blind. Come on. We'll come over here like that. All we're doing, tapping down some of that color, intermixing down, 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 to down, to down, to down. Bang, 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 bang. Every time that we smack into it with the brush, all we're doing is spreading out the paint, spreading it, spreading it, spreading it, spreading it, mixing it, mixing it, mixing it. Each time that you hit it like that. We just did it about 1,000 times. So you should have a very light area down here, right? That you can literally grab and mix and blend and pull, and all of a sudden, it's that nice, soft, unpainted area of our canvas again, right? Very, very, very cool. Now, let's put in one little tree and a little cabin out there in our scene. Now, I think we've got enough paint if I can just get it to get onto my brush. And we should just have enough. Let's get a little tree out here and we'll throw in a little house. All right, now, how are we going to make our little trees stand out as closer than those little trees back there? Especially if we're using the exact same color. What's going to make this guy stand out as in front of the trees back there? There's a couple answers I will accept. Class. What makes this guy stand out as in front of those trees back there? Anybody? Anybody in the mints? Anybody know? You guys think you know what it is? Let's see. Let's see if you think you know. The mist for the depth. That's right. It's a little darker than those colors, right? Especially down at the bottom. More definition. It's lower on the canvas. It sits a little bit lower, right? Larger. It's in front of the other trees, right? So it sits a little taller than some of those. It sits down much lower than the other ones, right? Very good, guys. You guys impress me. You've been paying attention. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Touch this guy with my glove back there. Now I got to go back and soften it up, just like we did before, without touching this guy in the front, right? Very, very neat. Super easy thing to do. Now we'll take our brush, and wherever we decide to pull out on his base is where our little tree guy is going to live, right? Now we've got some foreground right out here in our painting. Our super background, midground, boom! Very cool. Now, we need to go mix up a bit more of that dark color, you guys. So, if we're going to mix that up, what are the 3 dark colors that we're going to mix in order to create this same deep darkness that we've been working with this whole time? You guys already know. You already know. Boom, boom, boom. We are on like such a streak, by the way, that if this one goes, I'll really be amazed. Blue, black, and crimson, says Jade, Archery Girl, Jay, Joyce Roberts, Tia Allshire, Peggy Major, Crystal McClure, Wanda G. Let's see. Amelia says, I don't know. It's okay. Everyone in the comments is telling you. Blue, black, and crimson. That's what the BBC stands for. Or the BCB, or the BCB. Do it either which way. So that's what it stands for. Blue, black, and crimson. And it makes this very dark, purplyish, blackish color paint, right? Super dark color. Now, let's come back in here and let's decide, right? You know what? Right here. This is where we're going to have our little cabin. So, in order to put a cabin in, I'm going to go in and physically scrape out where I want my cabin to be. And you can see there's just a little bit of paint on the knife, just a little touch, right? But that little bit being there is going to make it more difficult to do our job. So we got to remove every piece of paint that we don't want back there. right? Pull it down, get it off our canvas. Bang, straight down like that. Now, in that little scratched up area where we just pulled all the paint from, now we're going to go back and add that dark color. All right, let's come up here, and let's go right at the top of the peak, pull it straight down. All the way down, right? I'm going to have to move these boxes real quick. These little guys get in the way when we're doing palette knife stuff at the very bottom of the canvas. So, come down a little. There we go. Right, take these guys, put them over here. Boom! Now, like I said, come in with our palette knife. Come over. So we're going to do about 1.5 lengths of the knife on this one side. Right? So you got about 1.5 there. Pulling the paint down. Not trying to scrape it off. Not trying to make it break like the mountain. That's why we're going slow, so it'll push on there and get stuck. Right? Come over here. Turn the knife. So get the peak again. Go down. Right, got our first guy. Got our second guy. Bam, bam, bam. And then about 2.5 on this guy. So it's about 1.5 on the other guy. About 2.5 on the other side. This side over here. You can pull it down as far as you want. Right? You can always blend it back up afterwards. Okay? Now, that'll be the front of our house. So the side of our house would come over here. We're going to have to scrape away all that stuff too. We're just going to pull straight down on this guy. Just 2 lengths straight down. Boom, 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 boom. Just like that, you guys. Now, it's all about the same level. Let's say the front of the house is actually a little bit lower than the rest, which is exactly perfect how we want it to be. Okay? Now let's scrape away any part of snow from our roof. All that white snow that's up there, the tree bits, every bit of snow from back there is going to make it harder and harder for us to do our job. Right? So you have to scrape it away. Get rid of it. Now come in with our white. And since our white snowy side of our mountain is going to be right here, I want to sort of leave a disconnect in between. And in fact, let's save this. Watch this. I'm going to take a little bit, just a little line of darkness. I'm going to come up and just kind of outline that little line of darkness because it's going to be white against the white snow of the mountain, right? We have to have a little line in our cabin, right? Just a little bit. That's going to help us discern the cabin roof from the bit in the background, which is white. So we're going to have to leave a little teeny tiny line of darkness back in there. Right? Back over here, back over there. Got our whole little roof. Now we know it's there. Know what area that we need to fill in. Right? This guy comes down like that. Straight down. Pop, 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 pop. However far we want to go. We're going to end up putting another tree right here anyway, so no worries. Don't have to do the whole thing. Let's grab up that white. Come back in here, leave a little line of dark, and then smush it down, right? Get that little line of dark in between the mountain and the bit of white snow, and it's going to stay separate from the mountain itself. It's going to stay right out here in front, right where we want it to be, right, guys? Just like that. Come off of this guy, little touch, little touch, little touch, little touch. Just off the other side of the little peak of his house, right? Bang, 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 bang. Very cool, you guys. Now, let's come in. Let's take some of the brown. Since we have it out, let's make some wood. Got our brown. Come over here. Grab our bit of white. Work it down. Not too much white. White is really powerful, and it'll overtake the brown. Now, we don't want to overmix it either, right? Leaving a couple different streaks of those colors in there. We come through, we scrape it up, and now we want to be light-handed. Light. Right? Not trying to make it break. Go slow and light. Wherever it picks up is where it picks up. This is an old, decrepit building out here. It's going to end up looking just like wood grain the more we do it. It's picking up on those dark areas, right? Those dark pieces of paint are collecting. They're making little holes in our wood, right? Which you could come and cover in if you don't want to have the little holes. You come back in and cover them down. But this side should be a bit darker than our other side is anyway, so the more we mix it down, the more it's going to interblend with the color underneath. Right now, we're going to take the same color, which will be brighter, off of its brighter side over here. Okay. Got the bright side hitting this side of the house, a little bit brighter than the shadowy side over here. Now, let's come in, let's switch knives to the smaller knife, because it's just about the perfect size to make a door. What if we took out and we scraped out our door like that? Hold them down. Scrape it out. right? Don't even have to get rid of all this stuff. You can actually go back in with that dark color and boom, pop in a whole new little door. It looks like there's snow going into it just from not covering up the very bottom, right? Just like that. Fill it in. Nice little old creepy little cabin out here that I'm not sure I want to go into alone. You guys might have to come with me and take a little of the white, a little of the brown, just lighten it up a touch. Just put a couple little highlighty bits around the edge of our door. All right, just a little difference. A little bit of light around the top. Just like that. A couple little things, right? A little opening, piece of wood, something like that. Let's come over here, grab up these, scrape this guy down, and maybe just make a little jagged little front window for the guy, right? You never know. Come in here, we're gonna dark out this window. Black it out. Black it out. I want it where like I'm coming up upon this cabin, I want it to be empty, because I gotta go in there and hide from the elements, right? Just like that. You know what we can do over here too? Like he's got his little kitchen window. It's like very thin on the side. Just a little kitchen window. Everybody's got that little kitchen window in their cabin, of course. Of course. Come out like that. Darken it down. Little dark little windows. Right now, we can come in with that light color again. Pop in a little window sill. Right there. Right there. Right. Little place for the sunlight to catch something to be hanging out inside there. Now, here comes the fun part. When we start to decide where our cabin is going to live. And as we pull out the back, start working from the back, and you start working down at this angle, right, towards the front of our house. Boom, boom, boom. Now that we've reached the front, we need to start working him away as well. And start pulling him out this way. Just like this. Now straight across, straight across, straight across, right? Feeling it out. Where do we want it to be? A little bit higher on that side, a little bit lower on this side. Right? Drop out our little cabin right out there in the midst. Fantastic. Now, we're going to come across this guy and add a bit of big old tree in the front. But before we do that, why don't we give this guy a little chimney pipe, just a little stovepipe action back here. A little stovepipe right back there, down into the snow of the roof and up out the top. And you can even say no one's home. We'll put a little bit of white right on the tip top. Just a little bit of snow right on the top. Boom! It's like a little flap up there, right? Very cool. Now, just want to get this last little touch right there, just in case we have a bit of tree that it won't cover, right? Come all the way down onto our bit on the front. Let it kind of hang over the side, droop over. I never like it to be so thick over the edge right here, but I want it to kind of come over and hang a little bit. Very cool. Very cool. It doesn't have to be the smoothest thing that you ever done saw either, right? Very neat, you guys. Okay. Let's come up underneath here. Put a little bit darker of a line right there. And right underneath that guy as well. That way we'll have like a little shadow under the pitch. A little bit of shadowing right underneath that guy. Very cool. Now, let's decide what our little snowy area is going to look like. I kind of want to keep some of the pink for our snow, right? Since we've got our brown out, we might as well take a bit of that brown and add a bit of tree trunk into our little guy back here. And let's go and highlight that guy since we're already here. Let's take a little bit of our liquid white, go into our little blue pile. You have to have a bit of that Prussian blue as well. Can't just be pure titanium or pure liquid white. Doesn't work like that. You have to mix the oil and the liquid white together in order for it to come off with the brush easily and not clump up and look like crap, right? You come over here like this and you start tapping and tapping. Now we don't want to cover every single bit of all the dark parts of the tree. They don't all have to be in the shadows, right? Now what we're going to do is come back off of that guy over here, wash off our brush, wipe it on a paper towel so it's nice and dry, come back into the liquid white, and then over into our titanium white, right? Remember, you got to have both. You can't just do one or the other. It's got to be a mix of both, and it's not a mix that can be taught. It's something that you have to learn by doing it. So go get your paints. Let's try. Let's get going. A couple little taps, little bits, little babies, right? Very light little taps, especially with the white. You don't want it to glob on there too much, just like that. Little bright side, little shadowy side. You have to have both. You gotta have both, guys. Okay, now let's come back over here and decide what the rest of our little scene is going to look like. Maybe we take some of that blue and the white. Grab some of this guy. Come off the front of our little house out here. Right? Because I would imagine there'd be some bluey, shadowy bits, especially over there. The shadowy side. And then maybe we'll have some pinky, highlighty, snowy bits over here. All right, so let's come into a bit of our white and a bit of our medium crimson over here. Oh man, that's going to be a pretty pink. Look at this. Holy cow. That's going to be cool. All right, nice little gorgeous little pinky highlights in the snow. Just fantastic. All right, bring our little highlight bit a little bit further. Up this side. There we go, guys. That is a pretty cool casted shadow off of our little house. Very neat. Now, what if we took that same bit of white, right, and we added just a little touch of it back in there off of that little guy, just to brighten up his one little side, right? Doesn't have to be super bright, just to brighten up his one side, and then go back with our blue and cut it off, right? And that way we'll have a little bit of difference in our colors in our snow over there. A little bit of white, a little bit of blue. Very cool. Very cool. Now, obviously, the more that we add, the brighter it will become, right? So, want a little brighter, want the shadow to go a little bit further, or the brightness to go a little bit further. Totally up to us what we want to do with it. Come in here, grabbing up our white, sliding it down, sliding it down, sliding it down. You need a lot of white in order to make the snow look very thick, because the white wants to instantly blend with all of our other colors that are already here, right? Swipe it up towards the cabin like it's a little wind-swept, little blown little thing. Very cool. Woo! Oh, man! All right. Now, let's do one tree over here. And I don't even think we have enough on the palette, but let's get him started anyway. All right? Just over there like that. Let's come in and we'll decide. Maybe he lives right here. We could put our one with our Christmas lights on this guy, or we could do the one with Christmas lights on this tree. We'll see. I know, why would there be Christmas lights if there's no one that lives in the cabin? It's a Christmas miracle, that's why. Let's come over here, and we're going to tap up into our tree, right? Smacking into the canvas. Hard as we can smack. Flip the brush over. Start coming down a little bit more. A little bit more, a little bit more. The more we come down, the more you pop out. Go to the side, pop out all of our little crazy little branches, right? Using our trunk as sort of a center bit to flow all the way down. Now we got to mix up a little bit more paint though, guys. So what are those three colors that we mix in order to create a deep, dark... We have to use the purple on this guy. But what colors do we normally mix in order to make a deep darkness? Right, in this instance, it's going to be extra purpley. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got to get some more blue paint out of the box after this, right? Over there. Very cool. Right? Still the same deep, dark color. Very blackish looking color. Very blackish. Blue, black, and crimson, and sometimes purple. We'll come over here like this. Just like that. Coming down, right? Coming out, making the branches of our tree. Down, we smack outwards like that. The more that we go down, the more we smack outwards. The bigger our little branches get, right? Come out, come out, come out. Touching at the trunk first. Depositing all that thick paint. And then the more we go, the more we slap outward, creating our branches that go further and further and further out. All right, come off of this guy. Come off the other side. Pop, 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 pop. Right, just like that. A wicked little Christmas tree right there. Wicked little tree. All right, let's actually do another guy too. Look at the little guy. Just a little baby. Little baby guy. Come up here. Start smacking into the canvas. And the more we go down, the more we smack. And then we're actually using our full bits of our brush, dabbing it in. Every so often, you jump down, you smack in a little bit more, turn our brush on the other side, our other tree, kind of intermix them both together, and then poof, guys. Very cool. Let's take those guys. We'll get a little bit of our liquid white and a little touch of that blue, while we still got some left. A little bit. Go through our thing. Back in here, back in there. We'll get a little bit of our purpley bits too. Might as well. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Now let's come off the back of our small little guy, and we're just going to start to tap up little things, just like we're holding chopsticks. Little baby bits. The more we go down, the more we smack in. And the more you smack in, the bigger of a shadow shape you're going to leave. But just remember, don't cover everything. Don't. I'll come over there and kick your tushes if you go cover up too much of that pretty, pretty dark color. right? The darkness that lives within inside us all is right there, and it needs to remain uncovered. And that way we don't forget about it. Let's come over here. Smack, smack, smack. Little baby bits starting to go back and forth. Now turn the brush. Very lightly when we first turn the brush because you don't know what that texture is going to be like. Come down in here. Smacking, smacking. Right, I would imagine most of the shadow is going to overtake this little guy anyway. So if we come in and we just give it little baby slaps, right, just brightening up little areas here and there, not trying to cover up all the dark bits. Remember, my goodness, if you cover all the darkness, where will all the critters live? That's my question, right? Very cool. Now, we can take those guys, grab them by their bums down here, and start to pull them out. But we're going to start a little higher, work down, right, to a little point, and then start working this guy up and away and a little higher as well. So we have two things that are coming down this way. It's going to make the trees look more 3D than ever before. Pulling away in each section, getting higher as you go out, right? And you get that little bit right down in there. Very cool. Now, let's come back and clean off the blue off of that brush, and then we'll go over and we'll light up our highlighty trees. And then just maybe, I don't even know that I want to add Christmas lights to this one. It looks so friggin' nice already. I don't even know that I want to do that. Hey, thank you, makeup. I appreciate it. Incredible. Appreciate you. Let's see. Add them, says Jeremy. Oh, you guys. You can always somehow get me to do what you want. I don't know how you do it. Let's come in here. We'll add a little bit of white onto our thing. Now, we're not going to add in so many branches if we're going to go back and highlight or add little lights onto our trees, right? You don't need to add in so much highlights. A little bit of white, a little bit of our liquid white. Come in little baby taps. Right? Little taps. We don't even need to go all the way down that tree because he's hidden in the shadow of his bigger friend over here. All right, go back and load up our brush. Back into here. A little white area, and then we'll come in with little baby taps, right? The more that you tap, the more it's going to cover those little areas. So, don't overdo it, or Uncle Paint with Josh is going to come to your house and kick your butt. We'll go like that. Come over here. A little bit more. We wiped off our brush onto a paper towel. Grab more liquid white back into the titanium white pile. Thank you. Kind of dabbing that in. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok, guys. I love you. We'll come over here like that. Dab it in. We'll come back here. We got to be very careful because it's going to be so bright right off the bat. All right, come out onto our branches. Tapping, 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 back and forth. Flip the brush. Very bright when it first comes out when you flip that brush. Go back over our shadowy side. Just a couple taps here and there. Doesn't need to be everywhere. Oh, baby! That's a pretty tree right there, guys. Woo! Baby, that's a tree. If I ever done Dod's seed one right there. Now, let's come back up here. Let's get the meat in the box back up in the promotional area. Oh, I've got it all spun sideways. I can feel it. It's like, this does not feel right. Nothing about this feels correct. Now, let's take this guy. It's probably easier to do without the big yellow box on it. But I want to struggle in front of everybody, because that's more fun for you guys to watch. Watch me struggle to get the thing on. There we go. Boom! Let's just fall out. Okay, now we've got our trees over here. Let's take a little bit of snow so we can say it looks done. If we added a bit of our white and a bit of our crimson-y pink, and we grab off of this guy and we pull it down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Doesn't need to be the brightest thing you ever saw. Right? You can make it brighter by adding a little bit of white, dragging it back up into our trees. A little wind-swept look. Drag it down like that. You don't get those little brush marks. Right? You gotta be very careful with this oil paint. It wants to pick up off your brush, deposit onto another brush, get all over the place. It's a big pain. So, a little bit of bluey snow back on our side. Drag it back into the trees. Wind-swept. Very cool. Now, let's see. We've got enough on our palette. Well, actually, we need to get out some more blue. So, after we get out some blue, then we'll have enough on our palette to do the last tree. And this tube of paint is brought to us by Melanie Lindsley. Remember, you can go over to my Amazon wish list. I have so much so many supplies on my wish list. I bring you guys all these free videos, right? And if you were to help me out by supplying me with a tube of paint every once in a while, or a new brush, or whatever, that just helps me out when I have to go to Michael's and spend a ton of money to come up here and do this stuff for free, right? So, if you want, like Melanie did, you can go over to my Amazon wish list and send me anything. I don't get your info, you don't get my info. It's all via Amazon, and it'll charge you and send it to me. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Now, let's mix up a bit more of those colors. So like we said, what are the 3 deep, dark colors? We need a different tool here that we need to mix in order to create the deepest darkness that you ever saw. Right? What are the colors that we're mixing up? And if you don't know because you're a brand new fan, that's okay. Check the comments. There's probably 800 people telling you what it is. The CBC, the CBB, the BCBCDC, ACDC. It's the ACDC. That's what it is. I'm on a highway to hell. All right. Now that we've mixed up all those colors, the blue, the black, and the crimson, right into here, the BBC, blue, black, and crimson, or black, blue, and crimson, whatever one you guys say first. I always say blue, black, and crimson. I don't know why. Black comes before blue in the alphabet. I don't know why. Don't ask. Now, let's come over here. We got to make it taller than this tree, and let's give it some room to spread out. You don't want to come down with your trunk right over the bit of your house, because then you're going to be putting too many branches across all that thick paint. So let's give it some room to breathe. Come down here, little trunky poo, just like that. Boom! You guys! Very cool. Now we're going to come in and load up the brush again. Come up here and just start a tapping and a smacking away. And the more that we come down, the more I try to stay out of your guys' way. And we'll go off the one side of the trunk, right, off the other side. Just back and forth, making it sort of symmetrical. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be a mirror image on each side. But if it's coming out a certain amount on one side, you probably want to have it coming out a certain amount on the other side as well. Right? Just like that. Popping out, popping down, popping around, coming over here. Just using the one side of the trunk as reference. It always looks funny when I leave. Let's just leave it like that. Yes, perfect. Amazing. What happened to the bottom of the tree? It's like a doorway into the future. You can just cut a little door right out into the thing, right? Now, this is the part where you guys can see a bit better as I come in and smack the trunk with the corner. Not the whole brush like this, right? Not like this. We're hitting the corner first. We're turning it, we're hitting it. That way we can slap out the brush, and we get to decide by how much we contact the canvas, how far our little branches come out, right? Just like that. Little bits, little baby bits. Come out here, start coming down, popping down. Now, especially once you get into your white section, you really want to make sure you got enough of that darkness on your brush. So go back, load it up again, come back down here. You want to have those little fingery bits, right? Those little fingers that stick out, and try to collect all of our little highlight colors and little things. Right? I call them little fingers. They're the little bits of texture. You guys know what I'm talking about. All those little textury bits, right? Like if you were to take some paint and you went like this, smack the paint against the canvas, and then you pulled it apart, it gets all those little fingery bits, right? That are all stuck together, like that. And then they all stick out and want some highlight. And they're like, ooh, come back and grab us, touch us again, right? Oh, we like it. Touch us again, we like it. Let's come back in here. I forgot to add in a few bits of trunk back in this guy. I'm just going to try to add them in. Adding them in after the fact is much more difficult because you're going to have to, you have to see some of the trunk. You don't have to see it all, and you don't want to overdo and cover up too much of your highlights, right? Otherwise, you got to go back across and soften them down again. Pop, pop, pop. Couple little bits. And you got your little bit of brown trunk in there. And before we forget to do it again, let's do it on this guy. A little bit down here. They don't even all have to match. We're going to be covering up the majority of them, remember. Boom, 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 boom. All the way up to the top. Now, we can even take the top of this guy and really streak him up. Just taking the knife and allowing it to become very sharp. Same thing over here. Very sharp little tip top of the tree. Which I try to get with the brush, and most times it's just a big pain. You got to use your knife to make it real sharp like that. Now, let's come across, let's do the exact same thing that we did before. My guys, okay? Down here, let's take our little bit and slide it out very straight, not super on a downward angle. It's going to look really funny if it's on a real downward angle like that. Very straight, coming out, changing the bit just a little bit. pulling it down, whichever way we slide the brush is how our little snowy field is going to look, or our little snowy hill, whatever this thing is sitting on down here, right? The more straight it is, the better it's going to look. Don't make it so diagonal, and I have to tell myself all the time, don't make it so diagonal, Josh. Over here, a little bit of our white coming off the side. Very cool. Swipe it up into our tree. Little touches of white out there, guys. Oh, so pretty. Oh, it's just so pretty. Just so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty I had to whisper. Oh, ow, so pretty. There we go. Tuck that guy back in there. Sweep it up inside, right? You get to see those cool little wind-swept little bits. Take a little touch of our blue with that white. Come off of the back side of him down here. Just that little touch of the blue really helps. It really helps it stand out away from that original grayish color. Right? I want all that gray in there. Very cool. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. A bit of our blue color back here just to help it, right? It just adds that little extra touch. Catches your eye. Makes you feel really good about it. Very nice, guys. Very nice. You know what? Let's do, I mean, we got all this paint. Let's do one more. Let's do one more little guy. The little guy. Got to cover up some of that bit of our cabin. Right? I don't like the back corner of my cabin right here. Looks like we kind of gave up because we planned on it. Let's come down in here like this. A little tree. Right past that. And that way, I'm going to have to contact part of the roof in order to make my tree. Right? Which will push that little bit of roof back. And it's also going to want to make my color very, very, very bright right there, and also get very muddy as you come across your bits of house and bits of wood and snow and all that. You got to be very careful. Very careful. Come up in here. Little baby taps, little baby taps. How big do you want it to be? That's the question. How tall do you want it? How fat do you want it? Let's make it a little bit taller. A little bit taller in this guy. Come down, pop out a little bit more. Pop, 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 pop. The more we go, the more we go. Oh, I like that right there. All right, just out like that. Now, let's grab that little bit. Take this guy, slide him down, slide him over. We're losing some of our light over there, but that's okay. Just like that. Filling in that one extra little piece. Tell me that doesn't make it look 10 times better right there. Holy cow. Okay. A little bit of our brownish part of our trunk. Back in here. Remember, this guy is a little skewed. He's not straight up and down. He got stepped on by a little moose way back in the day. Just like that, you guys. Really trying to make it nice and sticky. Okay, now we got to get all the paint off of this brush. Otherwise, that thing will be forever ruined if you let it sit overnight. My goodness. That's not something you want to do for sure. Get all the paint out of there. Now we're going to come in. Let's get some of our Meaden paints out after we do our highlights, and then we'll add our Christmas lights. Maybe we use a Magic Fly set. Nah, we'll use the Meadens. We'll use the Meaden set. There we go. Now, coming in with a little bit of our highlight color again. Got to have the shadowy bits, so you need a little bit of your liquid white, a little bit of your Prussian blue, or your purple dioxazide from Gamblin', right? Gorgeous color paint. Come in here like that, over there like this, and again, just off the right-hand side, because all the shadows are back here. As we come in and we start tapping them in. Tap, 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 tap. You don't have to leave it covered in blue. You want to leave some of those dark areas uncovered, right? Come over here. I'm sure we're not going to have enough paint off of our brush on this guy, but let's just see. Just see how far we can get. See, we start rocking back and forth. A couple little taps, just like they're in a line. Like little rounded bits. A couple little taps here, a little there. The more we go down, the more we smack. Boy, oh boy, we might just actually cover this whole tree. Pop, pop, pop. Little babies, right? Don't have to have too many little things. Don't want to cover up all the dark. That's for sure. Don't do that. This piece of trunk right here is bothering me. Get that guy out of there. Bugging me. There we go. Very cool. You guys. You guys. All right, now let's come back in. Wipe off our brush. Go back to the liquid white and then back into our titanium white pile. And this is all we got to do, guys. Couple little dabs, and then we'll go back and add in some colorful little Christmas lights, right? Come off like this. Little dab. Very light little, like, like chopstick flicks, little light little babies. Little baby bits come over the side, just a little flick. Boom! That way we rotate around the shadowy side, leaving some of the blue and a lot of the blue down around the bottom. Gotta have that blue down there. You're not gonna see all the light shining down here and here if it's casting a shadow that way. It just don't work. So let's come back. Let's mix up a little bit more of our liquid white into the titanium white as we come down here. Now, can you just have one or the other, or do you have to have both? Can you guys let me know in the comments? Can you have one or the other of this paint? Or do I need to have both in order to get it to work? You guys let me know. As we come back here, we start tapping out little baby bits, back and forth, start filling them down, covering them around. As we flip the brush, you gotta be very careful because it's gonna be so bright when you flip that brush around for the first time. Little babies. Now, let's go back over our shadowy area a couple little times. Pop, just like that. Shadowy side, highlight side, right? The more we do, the more we do. Very cool. Very cool. Now, let's grab our Meeden paints out of the old box. Get them out the old box. Let me wipe off I gotta clean off all these brushes, clean off the palette again, then we'll be ready for some new paints to come in. And we're gonna use the 24 color oil paint set that comes inside this Meeden box, right? So if you're not watching, or if you're watching on YouTube, 24-piece oil painting set that comes inside this Meeden box, which I've already done a promo video for. It's on my YouTube page. You can go find it. The link is there where you can go purchase it. It comes with all sorts of stuff, 44 pieces, including 24 colors. And we're about to find out just how fabulous they are. Even on top of all of this thick paint that we've just painted, right? These Meeden paints will still attach themselves on top of all of that paint. Trust me when I say. And before we go back in, let's come in here and a couple little bits of like, this little crazy little sticky bits come growing up out of the sand. There's no sand in here, Josh. This guy's just a few little babes, little baby things, like little bits that growing at the bottom of the trees, that's all. All you have to do is literally scrape away the paint that we just painted on and you reveal the white canvas underneath just by scraping with the tip of the knife, that's all. Alright, one more brush to clean and then we'll pop open the Meeden set. So, if you've already ordered your Meeden set, and I hope you use promo code Josh10 or at least ordered through my link, and that way you'll be entered to win one of 3 of these 44-piece sets they're giving away. They're giving away 5 of these 24-piece oil sets, right? And 10 $15 gift cards. So there's going to be 18 Paint with Josh winners just for Paint with Josh followers, guys. It's my own Meeden giveaway, guys. Just for my followers. Not anyone else. No one else gets added to the list unless you use promo code Josh10 or you purchase through the links that I have in my promo videos already out and available for this set right here. Okay, then you'll be entered to win. Out of 18 people, I'm pretty sure you're lucky enough to win something. Win one thing out of 18 folks. Now, let's go into this. Oh my! Those are going to be some very pretty little colors to attach to our thing. So I'd say let's go with the lemon yellow. Pop this guy out. Let's get light green. Grab that guy. Maybe... Ooh, scarlet red. Right, they have a crimson red, and they have a rose. Oh, the orange yellow. Let's get the cerulean blue. So we'll go with our little 4 colors that we'll do our kind of Christmas lights with this little Meeden set. Gonna be gorgeous. Now, let's get those Meeden brushes out that come in the same set. These are the same 10-piece kit that come in the set. So, along with those 24 brushes, you get 24 colors, you get 10 brushes. And then an easel, some canvas pads, some paper, some palette, all sorts of stuff. It's fantastic. Go check out the thing that I did. Now, what I'm going to do is this brush, one of these anyway, looks perfect enough to dab into a little bit of color. Let's pop the plastic bit off. It looks like a pencil. Ooh, it's hard. There we go. Dab it into a little bit of color like that, and then we'll go up and just literally go boop, 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 and touch our lights, and it should deposit itself off, right? Because the Meeden paint is a much wetter paint, automatically. It's already wetter and thinner than the Bob Ross or the gambling. What's up, Bailey? Mom dropped you off already, huh?
Yep.
Did she go back home?
Yeah, she dropped me off like an hour ago.
Oh, I thought I heard you down there. How was the orchestra thing?
It was alright. It was really short.
Sure.
Like it started at 6:35
Yeah.
and then it ended at like 7
Oh,
or
that's
like
good for parents.
6:50.
Parents like short performances.
It's because like it was like they kept showing it was like what they did before, so it was like practice.
Okay.
And then they did like a little instrumental type thing.
Got it.
And it was like so short. And then Mom was like, the next time you invite me to a school event, make sure it's longer than 30 seconds. And I'm like, okay.
30 seconds?
Because it felt like so short. And then I kept like pointing out all of my friends that I knew that were like sitting down there.
Right.
And I was like, I know him. I know her. I know them all the way over there. And then Mom was like, Bailey, be quiet. We don't need input. I'm like, okay.
I know them and her and all of those people. Okay, let me get back to this. We're making a little Christmas lights on our tree. Now, which of the trees need Christmas lights is the question. And we don't need a whole lot of paint. As you can see, I just put a little bit out here from the Meaden piles. Those little bits right out there so we can just dab in and then we'll touch our canvas. Does that say over there? Don't forget to like this video. This guy is a real dude living real life who's super talented. Thank you for that comment. Love ya. So we think the tiny tree next to the cabin, the little guy, that little guy, just put a couple little lights on him. I mean, shoot, we'll see what it looks like. We'll do this little guy back here, see what he looks like, and we might just do the whole smash. It's a Christmas miracle. Why not? Let's come in and grab a little bit of yellow, globbing it up onto the end of the brush, right? So we can just very lightly come in here and maybe into those dark areas, just dab a little bit, right? All we need to have is a little bit of color come off. Now, again, gonna scoop it up, and that way, pop in a couple little bits here and there and everywhere throughout that little tree. Let's wipe the brush off. We don't want to get them all contaminated, and we don't know if we're gonna do all the trees, so let's scoop up the green. When I mean scoop it up, make sure it's got a little bit that hangs off the top of the brush, right? That way, it will attach itself and get stuck to the canvas, leaving a little ball of paint down there, right? Which helps it stand out. It's starting to look really cool with just the green and yellow already, guys. Now we'll come in, let's grab the red, and again, scooping it up so there's like a little Hershey's Kiss on the top, right? And then we come in and we start to dab it, and those little dabs will stay on the tree. If you gotta go back and get a little bit more of your Hershey's Kiss on the top of that guy, that way we don't have to thin it down. You're not doing anything extra. It's not getting too overly worked, right? We're not pushing on it too hard. That's a cool looking little tree, guys. He's cute. He's so cute. Look at this guy. Look at how cute he is back in there with his little Christmas lights. Oh, he's just precious. He's so fresh. All right, let's do him on the big one too. We might as well. Shoot, guys, should we do them around the cabin too? Let's just light up the whole thing in Christmas lights. We honestly could. Honestly, we could come around here and literally go like along the edge of his door. And we'll finish around the whole bit with all sorts of colors. We'll come back here though and add a little bit of blue back into our tree. A couple little blue lights out here on the end. You won't really see them in the blue shadowy side, but out on the colored side you will see them. That looks very cool. A little bit of blue next to our red. See if we can dot this guy around the side. Just dotting him as we go. Couple little bits of stuff. Very cool. I like it. Come in here with our green. Right in between for the green. Boom! Lighten up his little Christmas light, or his little Christmas door. I like it. All right, let's put some green around the windows as well. Remember, you want to have enough paint on your brush to stick on there, and that way it'll remain nice and bright and stay on there well. You know what I mean? Come back a little bit of yellow. And again, get into it. Get into that pile. Have some hanging off the edge of your brush. Come in here for our last little touch. Little yellow bits around the side of our door. Put some around the side of our window as well. Just like that. Ooh, I like that one, guys. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, come over here. A little bit more of our blue onto the brush. Come back down into here and just start adding bits of blue in between. Doesn't have to be perfect. Wipe that off. Scoop up the red. Just enough so it comes off of the brush. You don't need a whole thing, but if you got a little Hershey's Kiss up there, it's going to come off of the brush so much easier than if you didn't. Boom! Dude, it's like a gingerbread house, guys. It's like a little gingerbread house. It's so stinking cute. Okay, now, let's see. I mean, we could do them around the top of the house as well. Let's see what they look like. Let's see what it looks like. If we pop them out here and do some Griswold colors. Just like that. A couple little Griswold bits right off the top of him, right? We'll come in, let's go into the blue. A little bit of the blue. We don't want to have too much on the brush. Come down over here. Pop, 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 pop. A little bit more. Boop, boop. Just like that. Oh, that's so cute. I don't care if you guys buy this one or not. I love it. This one's super cute. It's staying in my home collection. Just like this. Come over to the side. A little bit of yellow in between the bits of darkness. Right, or in between our little pieces of light. Pop in another little bit of yellow, little stick. Now it's got a stick on there, and you have to have enough paint on your brush in order for it to stick on there and have it come off. That's so cool. That's so cool. Even though he's gone, he's no longer there, he's out for the winter, he left his Christmas lights on. Poor sap's gonna come home to a huge bill. Just a huge bill. It looks pretty cool if you ask me. Boop! A little bit of a boop! Santa's hideaway, I like that. Now here's the question, should we put Christmas lights along all the other trees? Or should we just leave those other trees bare? Or should we put lights on them? You guys gotta let me know. You gotta let me know. Let me know. Yes, lights on the tree. Someone says no. Someone says yes. Leave them bare. Right? We don't want to overdo it. Don't overkill. Right? Add a deer. Smoke from the chimney. Well, like I said, no one's inside. It's got bare open doors. But it is a Christmas miracle. There could be a fire in there. There could be. All right, we're gonna leave this one just as is, you guys. Just leave them. They're so pretty anyway. And I love this little guy. He's so cute. I can't wait for you guys to see this photo. I'll take the picture and I'll go post it to Facebook. And you'll be able to go over and check it out. It's super cute little Christmas tree out there. Oh, and it's those Meaden paints, I'm telling you. And we didn't even barely use half of what those little piles that we put out. It goes a long way, guys. It goes a long way. All right, let's come back in here. And keep this brush nice. Oh, no. How am I supposed to get it back in the thingy now? Ah, there we go. Right down in there. Boom! Super sweet. I love these brushes. Very cool. So it's totally an awesome set. If you think about it, it's $65, and you get 44 pieces, brushes, palette, an easel to paint on, canvases, canvas panels, all sorts of stuff in there for you to use. Really cool. Now let's come over and we'll add the old signature. Just the old signature. Right? And if you're a brand new fan, you might not know the old signature. It's 3 birds that represent my family. Even though we're not together anymore, I still add myself, my ex-wife, and our daughter. And they go into every single painting as part of the signature. Fly around together forever. Just like this. A little bit of a... Just like that. Boom, boom, and boom, boom. Fabulous. Just flying through. Oh, man. Come down here and sign this guy on this side. Now remember, guys, this one is available if you go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com. It's over there, and you can get it for 50% off. 50% off its normal price. And that brings the cost down to like $2 something. I can't even remember what it is. $252, something like that. $250, $250. $250. Give me $350. Give me $350, and you have it. I think it's $250, $250. Remember, it's a Pro Series canvas, nice and thick along the edges, and that way you can hang it, take it right out of the box, hang it right on the wall, good to go. Don't need anything. You don't need a frame. Because it's that gallery wrapped feel to it, it kind of sticks off the wall. It's very good. I love these little Christmas lights. And I mean, it's not so noticeable that you couldn't hang this up all year. You know what I mean? It's not a Christmas painting that you just put up for part of the year and then take down and store it. I mean, you could do that if you want, but if I were me, and I am me, I would have it up all year round. Now, let's go. We'll take these brushes and the paints. We'll put them back in the kit over here so we don't get them all ruined and stuff. Fantastic. All right. Yeah, $252 on Etsy. So, paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and you can go find this one. It's over there. It's fantastic. Need a star on top of the tree? That's for another painting, right? That would be for another painting. Or you could try. You could put a star on top of your tree for sure. Absolutely. Man, this one came out good. Love the purpley sky, the pinky bits, the pinky snow, everything. Bingo, bango. Done with this one, guys. So, start coming up with a name in the comments. We're going to need a name, right? Normally, if it gets purchased, the buyer gets to choose the name. But on instances where they don't get purchased, because you can't sell a painting every single time you go live, right, Josh? I mean, we've been on like a 10 or 11 painting streak. So, what happened to my Facebook? Don't know why it went out like that. Strange. So, like I said, we've been on like a 10 or 11 painting streak. Every show they've sold. So, you're not gonna hurt my feelings if this one doesn't go. It's nice and pretty. I'm gonna keep it for myself. So, yeah, came out fantastic, guys. Give me a name for it. And if it does end up getting purchased, then that's fine. I can always paint something similar in the future. Never paint exactly the same, but those Christmas lights on that house aren't so freaking sweet. Okay, let's come over here, and we might as well clean up these little last little bits of our Meeden paint. And all that. Have to toss it. The Meeden paint is very much like acrylics. It will dry out very fast on your palette, and it'll do so many cool little things for us, guys. So many cool little things. That's why I promote them. If the product wasn't good, I'm not going to waste my reputation on promoting something that's bad, right? So they sent it to me. I tried it out. And I said, you know what? I can definitely use these for all sorts of stuff. So we made a deal, and here we are a couple months later. So, yeah, this one came out fantastic. I hope you guys really like it, because I really like it. And, yeah, I need a name. Somebody give me a name for it. We got to title the thing. We got to title it Cabin in the Hollow. Christmas Getaway. Cotton Candy Christmas. I like those. Holiday Hideaway. A Cabin in the Mountains. I like Holiday Hideaway. Somebody else came up with that same thing on Facebook and on TikTok. Retirement, says Carrie Solo. That's funny. Retirement. Man. Santa's Cabin. I dig that. North Pole Hideaway. Awesome. All right, I'm going to zoom out on YouTube since we're done with the painting part of the show. Let's see. Oh, that's cute right there. Dreaming of Christmas by Grace Rodriguez. You are in the lead, Grace, for the winner, or for the namer of this painting. Dreaming of Christmas. I like that. Winter Wonderland, says Jenny Love. Thank you, corporate liaison. Let's see. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. I mean, Wonderland Retreat, Santa's Secret is cool. It is cool. Frozen Hearth, Christmas Cove. All right, I think we're going to give it to Grace Rodriguez for the title of this one, Dreaming of Christmas. Because I sure am. Hello. Here we go. I sure am dreaming of Christmas. especially looking at this painting right here. So let's come down, let's sign it right down there. Remember, if you do purchase during the live show, you get a free gift, or at least a chance at a free gift on the spinny winny wheel over there. Now this one, Dreaming of Christmas. I like that. Very cool. Painted on the 4th. Is it the 4th today? Pretty sure it's the 4th, right? It's the 4th. The 4th? 4th. 3rd? It's the 4th. 5th. What is today? It's today the 4th. It's the 4th. Copy. On the 4th of July. Oh, 4th, 2023. And we're all going to go check out paintwithjosh.com in order to see all sorts of stuff that you don't normally see on the other pages. Now, let's get a little bit of our liquid white and a little bit of our Prussian blue together, because we have to finish the top of the painting, right, where the easel covers it. Every easel is like that. You get a blank spot up here. So with the liquid white and the blue and the purple, I'm going to go back through, blend it out till it's all the same. Remember, everything is still wet on this painting. The front is wet, the top is wet, the sides are wet, and you wonder why I wear gloves. Like, why? Why do you wear gloves, bro? Because everything's wet, bro! That's why. Come up here like this. Pop that guy in. Boop, boop. There we go. Beauty! She is a beauty! Alright, let's come over here. Get rid of all this stuff. All this action news happening over here. And then we'll say goodbye to you guys. So, this one came out amazing. I absolutely love it. I don't think it's sold, which means I just don't have to come back for a second show. That's fine. If you all don't want me to come back for a second show, you don't have to twist my arm. I'll tell you that. I don't need to. We could literally take the rest of the night off. But if you want me to come back and do a second show, this one's gotta go. Technically a third show, right, because I already did one this morning. Finally seeing you from beginning to end. Thank you, Carrie Solo. Amanda Atkins, this one, as far as we can tell, has not sold yet. So, we're going, there we go. I don't know why it gets so bluey on us whenever I leave the screen. It gets so bluey. Uh-oh, Tim might want this one, guys, and then he's going to get his free spinny winny wheel if he gets it. Very cool. Remember, you get a free gift if you purchase during the show. Thank you, Megan Southward and Amber Personette, for telling me that it was the 4th today. I appreciate you guys. How did I learn oil painting? Well, I watched Bob Ross and watched him for a few months, and then I finally got the kit, and I started to paint, and then I just started to teach myself, really. Try this, try that. Well, that didn't work. Maybe go check out what Bob did on a certain episode. Maybe if I could figure out what he did, I could make it work for me. And then once I make it work for me, then I have to figure out how to teach it to you guys in the most simplest way possible. And so, was that a sale? Oh, somebody's favoriting the shop over there. We got favorites in the shop. Someone's over there. Maybe we'll get a sale, guys, in which case we'll have a light party and the spinny winny giveaway. Man, just like that. Awesome painting. Awesome sky. Clouds, fantastic. The birds are amazing. The mountain's amazing. Everything is amazing. And the little freaking Christmas lights all over the house and the tree. Boom, boom, boom. Just awesome. Awesome sauce. So, it seems like I might need to get ready to do a second show if this one sells. So we're at least going to put down our paper towels and stuff and get ready to do it. Are like squirrels too? Well, we had ferrets actually, so close enough to a squirrel. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Uh-oh, this one says it sold. It shows sold on Etsy. We're gonna have to see. Well, in any case, we have to end one of the streams in order to check to see if it did sell. Because I'm multi-streaming off of 3 devices to all of my platforms, right? Except for Instagram. Poor old Instagram never gets any love. So, yeah, I'm going to end the streams. You guys have been awesome over on YouTube. Probably get rid of that camera. And we'll keep the Facebook and the TikTok stream going. So if you're watching over on YouTube, head over to Facebook or over to TikTok to finish watching the show, to catch the spinny winny wheel. But at least I have to check to see if the painting's sold, and I need my one device to do that. So I love you guys. Thank you. I can't wait to see your versions of this painting. Send it in to Paint with Josh right on Facebook. I think it's facebook.com/paintwithjosh. And I can't wait to see your version. So until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. Bye-bye. Just crazy. Boom! Get him out of here.